think of royal sort of stories in history, we often think that the royals really are just simply good at everything, whether that be hunting, fishing, shooting, of course knowing exactly what to say to every single person that they meet on the street, or at celebratory events. It's sort of accepted, isn't it? Now, a good friend of mine, the late Lord Richard Attenborough, was a wonderful actor, starring in many famous roles, of course, over an illustrious career. And I was lucky enough to interview him on many different occasions. And I wanted to share this particular story with you because I think it gives a fascinating insight into exactly, what the workings are when you become something, in the spotlight. How is it that you can suddenly know exactly what to do, what to say, and hold, that audience's attention? Is it simply because you are born into royalty, or is there more? As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you tonight. Are you all right? Thank you so much. And these glittering lights, aren't they nice? Well, yes, they're all right. Yeah, they make you look a little pale, don't they? That's the problem. Yes, well, what can you do? Yeah, well, especially, yes, as we all know, I'm still recovering. Don't want to go on that. Yes, still warm out here, by the way, let me tell you. Yeah, whatever you think. Very, very mild for this time of year. Now, let me explain this because Lord Richard Attenborough, as I say, wonderful man, brilliant actor, in fact, but really went into directing also to great success. For many people, his sort of penultimate hit would be Gandhi. And, that was really the movie that made him, people sit up and take notice of him as a director. A lot of people don't realise, of course, though, that he was instrumental in the success of the late beautiful Princess of Wales, Diana. He was the one that taught her how to speak literally in public, making sure that she knew exactly when to take the right pauses, how to look. And as he pointed out to me, he told her, look, you need double mascara on because you've got very long eyelashes. And if you pause at the right time and look under those eyelashes, you'll be able to emphasize that particular moment, word, sentence a little bit more. It gives the camera longer to trace the look. As he pointed out, and it was really good advice this, he said, you see, as I said to the princess, your eyes are the window of the world and your soul. Whatever you do to transmit that, whether you're giving a speech up on a stage or indeed being filmed, you have to make sure you connect with the audience. It's fair to say that he did a terrific job on Diana, the Princess of Wales. I thought that she became very, very confident in her public speaking. A little bit like, of course, Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Very nervous, naturally at the start, but now very competent indeed. But then he told me this little gem that I thought I'd share with you, because when you think about it, I don't know about you, but I somehow just believe that Her Majesty the Queen was good at everything, I know that sounds a bit biased, but she seemed very confident, but apparently behind the scenes a little bit shy. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, because as he pointed out to me, of course, her father, King George, particularly enjoyed the vocal talents of a Pathy newsreader, BBC announcer called John Snagg. He apparently loved the pitch, the tone, and the way that he was able to emphasise important points in speeches. But he said the Queen literally admired someone and slightly emulated that person. He found out at a later point herself. Who is that man? Well, that man is none other than this man, a very celebrated BBC broadcaster of the day, Cliff Mitchellmore. Now, he started out in the sort of early 50s presenting a programme called Highlight, but it was The Tonight Show that really took off for him. And Cliff Mitchellmore became the voice that apparently our late and brilliant monarch, Queen Elizabeth, really listened to, because as she pointed out, he had a finite time to get that particular story and the interest factor over. And she studied him apparently and watched him on TV. And although, according to Lord Richard Attenborough, he is never sure whether they had a meeting or indeed any training behind the scenes, he said what was the turning point apparently for the Queen was when she gave her very first televisual broadcast in 1957. The only thing she didn't like, she said, was the pitch of her tone, her vocal delivery. And of course you have to remember she's speaking impeccable Queen's English. And it was suggested that she may want to tone this down a little bit more now, simply because she's in the visual medium age. She had to be able to connect with everybody from Scotland, Ireland, Wales, right down, of course, into the beautiful heart of Devon. Everybody had a regional accent, and while everybody understood the Queen, she still had to be able to connect on some level. And apparently Cliff Mitchell was that voice. Now, it's fascinating insight, isn't it, when you think, because as I say, you find these interviews and you listen and think, wow, I forgot that. And it's nice to know that even the late and brilliant monarch, Queen Elizabeth, wasn't exactly 100% confident about giving those speeches. Lord Attenborough told me that while she enjoyed doing the Christmas speech, she did worry about it for a long period of time. Of course, after so long on her reign, apparently she was so adept at doing it, it was literally 1 or 2 takes at the most. But unlike her father, King George, apparently she enjoyed speaking directly to the camera. Apparently she felt the camera more comfortable than a simple radio mic because, as she said, you can't really tell who you're talking to. You're looking into something. With a camera, you're almost looking into the eyes of the world. And apparently the, how shall we put it, the diction, the poise, the elegance and the charm, well, some might suggest actually quite a bit of it came from this man, Cliff Mitchell. You see, you learn something new every day, don't you? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.